Coach, 12 practices in. What's the vibe around the defense right now?
The guys, you see, first of all, you can tell the guys like each other. You bringing high school guys in, guys from out the portal, guys that was already here, and you're trying to put it all together. First of all, the guys like each other. Effort is really what we've been kind of homing in on, and guys are trying to fly to the ball. The great thing is they're trying to do exactly what we're asking them to do, and that's always good. We tell them it's going to be stuff that we have to correct every day, but control what you control, and it's fun. It's fun to coach those guys.
Bumps and bruises here and there at linebacker. I know last scrimmage you guys probably put a lot on Jaheim Thomas. How did he respond to that? What are your thoughts on what he can bring to the table?
Yeah, it was good to get him out there and get those scrimmage reps. And, he didn't go through spring ball at the last place he was at. And to get him some live reps was always good. And we went in with the mindset to get him a lot of reps, just to see if he can just work the rust off or whatever you want to say. But he did a really good job. He's doing a good job and very smart, very detailed, takes a lot of notes. I'm happy he's with us.
Pooh was in here the other day, and it seemed like to me that he's been here forever, But when you think about it, he's only really started 2 games. Just talk about his program. He and Crook started the bowl game for you, or how they doing, and then Antonio Greer's a guy last spring that drew a lot of praise. I know he was hurt today, but talk about Greer and those guys.
All 3 of those guys are doing a great job, and just a new defense for all of those guys. And, what's always exciting is to see, the growth, with the football IQ and just learning what we're doing and different concepts. And all of those guys have a really good football IQ. All of those guys come to work every day and love to come out to practice. So it's been good. Pooh is very detailed. And he takes pride in his performance. Same thing with Crook, same thing with Antonio. Even when you watch him in the summer workouts and the way those guys bond together and work together, and, we need all of them. We need everybody in that room. So we talk in terms of, we don't have starters, we have standards. So if you uphold the standard, you'll play, So all those guys work well together. Proud of all 3.
3 high school kids that came in. Sanford didn't come in at midterm. I think the other 2 did. But how are they coming along? Coach Pittman has praised those guys from time to time.
Right.
What are you seeing from them, Coach?
All 3 guys, man. I think all 3 guys have bright futures here, and all of them at a great pace of just being able to help us at some point. This year, special teams and maybe on the defense. All of those guys have a skill set. You can see that they are SEC players. Brad Spencer is one that we put in at so many different positions, and because he could do so much. But all those guys have high ceilings, and we're very, very happy with their progress right now.
Specifically with Pooh being out, I know it hasn't been ideal, but that allowed Crook to, you got to see him with the first team a lot. I wonder specifically on Crook, what did you see from him during this period?
Oh, just a true leader. He a warrior. I love the kid, man, because he in the workouts, he's always when they're racing or they're running sprints, he's always trying to be first. He wants to lead. He has that Mike linebacker mentality, that you want on your team. And we see all those guys like Crook. Crook is a starter for us. Pooh is a starter. Antonio's a starter. Jaheim is a starter. Like all of those guys are gonna play, even the freshmen. So we need all of them, and Crook is a really, really good leader, really, really good person. So I'm glad he's on that team.
Has struggled to get quality depth on every level of the defense for years, but when we look at this roster, it seems like you're building. You're rotating a bunch of linemen. You're talking about the backers, and the back end seems to have some. Can you maybe talk about across the board where you feel with depth?
Yes, I think we have enough depth, and it's just like anybody else. You don't want to get anybody hurt, but you got to get guys ready. That's why we 2-spot, so it's always guys always getting reps. So you start with the defensive line. I think Coach Adams has done a heck of a job with the defensive line. It's first with the relationship with the players that he have, and then also the way he coaches them and teach them. We got depth on the defensive line. I could just say that. So very, very happy where we at there. And then we already talked about the linebackers, but on the back end, Coach Wilson and Coach Woodson does a great job. Same thing, relationship people, and also being detailed in their teaching. So we got enough depth to get the job done.
And talk about buy-in from players and stuff like that. How's the buy-in so far from the coaches and the communication between the coaching staff, particularly on the defensive side?
Oh, the buy-in is, you're a pro, right? We're pros. So when you buying in as a coach, it doesn't take much. It starts with our head coach, Coach Pittman. you know, and his leadership, you know, and his direction for the program. And whatever he's saying, we want to be aligned to exactly what he wants us to do. So I go into the defensive room, and this is what we're going to be. And we have good coaches. You know, I'm, man, just blessed to be around Coach Adams and Coach Woodson and Coach Wilson, even our analysts and GAs. So there's not a lot of rooms now that just have good people in the rooms, and we're blessed to have good people.
I know scheme will depend on matchup and everything like that, but the numbers say you blitzed a lot, you know, in your past. I mean, I'm curious, where does that aggressive mindset, does that come from a former coach, somewhere where you were a player? You know, where does that kind of stem from?
I think it's all situational. You know, can you get to the quarterback with just rushing 4, or do you have to bring more than 4, bring 5, bring 6? So I think it's all situational. But a lot of times offenses put defenses on their heels. You know, they give you pace. When you got to get lined up, they'll give you unbalanced. They'll give you formation in the boundary. And so a lot of times defenses are kind of reacting, you know. So it's always good for a defense to throw a curveball and make the offense panic a little bit. So that's my mindset when it comes to blitzing. But everything is really situational. Do you need the blitz? You know, and we don't just blitz just to blitz. So, but I do like to throw the kitchen sink at an offense and make them work at something that they saw the week before.
Are there any specific intangibles with the freshmen that have maybe allowed them to be, I don't know, further along than you expected? I mean, Coach Pittman seemed, when he talked to us, very impressed with where they are right now, the linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, I think all 3 of those guys, and just shout out to their high school coaches. All of those guys, man, they learn ball pretty quickly and easily. And, you know, like Brad Spence is doing some really good things out there. Carson Dean is doing some really good things. And then Alex he didn't even go through spring ball. And you can just see right now he's just running to the ball as fast as he can go. He likes to play physical, and he's learning the system. You know, he's just 12 days into practice. But you can see, like, the skill set on all 3 of those guys.
Coach, already you've talked a lot about relationships, and that's something, obviously, you know, this is your first year in Arkansas. How do you believe that relationships will help define this defense, especially in this year?
I think it's just – I think a kid will run through the wall if he know you care. I really do. Like, you can, you know, we don't cuss our guys, but you could be dog cussing a kid or talking to a kid, and like that's not how we operate. But we're gonna coach them hard. But we're gonna put our arms around them. It's okay. It's okay to, like, put your arm around a kid and say, man, you did a good job. You know, it's okay to tell him, hey, man, you got to tighten up, run to the ball. And then when he runs to the ball, man, that's exactly what we want you to do. And they appreciate that. Like, we have the guys over the house, and our wives are involved, and I mean, that's where the relationship comes in at, and we do a lot of things with the defense, and we do a lot of things as a team, be honest with you, to bring the relationship as a team together. But I think that's important. They'll run through the wall once they know you care.
And also, you've seen your DBs go up a lot against the wide receivers. What do you think of that wide receiver group, and who really stands out for you?
Shoot, man, they got a lot. They got a few of them over there. First of all, I think Coach Guyton does a great job, and then Coach Enos does a great job of calling them and putting them in positions to make plays. And they got a lot of length. They got speed. You know, Tesla, I think, is really good. I think Luke Hass is good. And I could go on and on, but it starts with the players because they have the skill set, but it also Coach Enos and Coach Guyton putting them in a position to make those plays.
You know, a lot of fall camp is getting mental reps, especially for the younger guys. Are there any players in particular that stand out that you've kind of seen a light bulb go off?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's always good to see the growth of all the players. You know, guys like me, Jaden Johnson, he's showing flashes, and, you know, Day-Day is showing flashes. Because it's new to all these guys. So just to see them learn defense, the new defense, and being able to go out and execute the new defense. But all those guys, I just name a few of them, even the newcomers. You know, Al is doing really good. Snacks, you know. So Jaheim Singletary that just got here. You know, so I could go on and on and on. But, I mean, all of those guys are really picking it up. And the main thing is just I think the coaches are doing a good job of teaching them and getting them to understand the concepts and different things that we're trying to do.
Travis, I was wondering what your take was on the scrimmage last week, and then what you're anticipating for this second one on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Last week, you know, one thing we want to go out there, like we always tell the guys, if you mess up on a play, we didn't coach it right. You control your effort. You control a stupid penalty, you know, being outside, holding or something like that. But we want to see that effort. So when you're watching the defense, you know, when you watch them, like, man, golly, they play hard. You know, now we want to execute. And the execution was there as well. But we really want to make sure they're playing fast and they're playing physical. Now this scrimmage, the second scrimmage, now, okay, we're playing fast, we're playing physical. Let's make sure we're executing at a high rate.
You mentioned Deke a minute ago. He kind of likes to joke about being an old guy and having gray in his beard and all that. You don't have that yet. But he's in his second year here now, and with a lot of the new guys. Just wonder what your take is on Deke and having some continuity there with the D line, because that's been a room that's had a lot of turnover.
Right, man. And it starts off, with Coach Adams and just again his relationship with the guys, and Deke Coach Adams is a good coach. He's loyal. He's a pro. He's a pro. So I remember meeting Coach Adams like years ago when he was at South Carolina. So we ran into each other there, but he does it the right way. He coaches his guys the right way. He's a leader with his guys. He's loyal in the room. Whatever. T. Will, what you want me to do? Let's go. What's the mission? And that's the same thing with Coach Woodson and Coach Wilson. So again, we got a great room. We don't go in there like we don't do bad energy. I told him we don't do bad energy, and nobody comes in there with bad energy. We don't want any energy vampires. And Coach Adams is like that older statesman in there with a lot of wisdom. So we're blessed to have him.
Coach, I think you mentioned Jaheim Thomas a little bit earlier. Just what kind of a skill set does he bring to the table, and what's it been like working with him behind the scenes?
He just walked in the room, so I can't really say. I'm just joking. Really good skill set, smart. Can change the direction. He brings length to the room. He can cover out the backfield. He's doing a really good job for us.
Behind the scenes, what's it kind of like?
Quiet, like you see him in the back right now. He's not saying, he don't say anything in the meeting. He'll ask questions, but quiet and very detailed. A pro, take notes, and then he'll come talk to you one-on-one and ask questions. So he's one of those guys that just love ball and always taking notes down and want to get the fine details of everything.
Coach, there's a little bit different question here, but guys like Caden Henley, Donovan Whitten, Brooks Both, are those players that are improving and can eventually maybe help the program?
Yeah, all of those guys are improving. Donovan just got here. Caden is improving. Brooks Both is improving. Brooks Both, man, he gets a lot of reps for us on special team and defense. Like, he's very valuable to our team. Man, I'm happy they on the team, and all of them going to have a chance to help us.
That's what I was going to ask you about Brooks. I think he's going to be somebody that probably sees action on special teams.
Oh, yeah, no, ain't no problem. He is. Like, Coach Fountain loves him because he does a great job. He does a good job and come to work every day, and we're proud that he's on our team, and he really, really helps us out a lot.
Travis, Dan Enos was in here with us yesterday, and he was very complimentary of what y'all are running, and he just said that they're challenging our rules, and I just wonder what you think of, the interaction that you're having with him on that level.
Shoot, Coach Enos, he's making me better. He does so many different things that make us have rules, and so many different formations, and it's not one of those just line up and go fast. It's like you got to get down there and you got to process what they're doing and the different things, different shifts and motions. And again, like you hear Coach Pittman says it all the time, like he's one of the best play callers he's ever been around, and I've experienced that the 6 months I've been around him. Very, very smart. Does some things that can really, really hurt defenses. So you got to have some things as far as rules. So they do things to make us better, and in return, we do things to make them better.
Today we saw a lot of the fastballs and stuff where you guys were breaking up a lot of passes. Winning the day, so to speak. What have you thought of maybe the start you're out to in those terms?
Yeah, we want to start fast. That's the thing. We want to start fast. And our emphasis today as a team, Coach Pittman wanted the offense to give us more tempo, and they came out today and they gave us the tempo, and they got some yardage on us. They was doing some really, really good things, and Coach Enos, like I said, he does a great job. But we need that. We need that tempo because we'll see it, during the season.
I asked Coach Woodson about this the other day. But you're leading an all African-American staff on defense, and I don't know if it's been done in the SEC or anywhere. Your thoughts about maybe the historic nature of that? Yeah.
First, I would say this because that was brought up to me. First of all, we want to hire good people, right? We want to hire good people. When the players look at us, what a husband look like, what a father look like. We want and what a great coach and a great teacher, great recruiter, all of that stuff, right? I also understand the responsibility. I get it. Representation means a lot. Representation means a lot. So for people to see that, I get that also. But I'm deep in my faith as well, and I understand the representation that I got to have. I got to represent God as well. So when I'm out here, when I'm talking to the players and when I'm coaching, I know I got an audience of one as well that I have to make sure I hold a standard, you know. So, but I get the representation, I get the responsibility. We're not gonna shy away from that, but I'm also not gonna shy away from making sure I'm representing, you know, my faith the right way.
Something that jumps out to me about the defensive staff is where you guys are all from. You're from South Carolina, played at Auburn. Deke is from Mississippi. Mark is from Mississippi. Darren's from Louisiana. SEC players generally come from SEC states in recruiting. How important is that to have all those connections for you guys? And what is your philosophy in recruiting?
You know, it is good to have those relationships because, I mean, you got to, when you go to these homes and you go to these towns, you got to just know who that champion is and have the people to get you in the homes, you know. And relationships is big, but our philosophy is this right here. We got a great product here. We got a great product. We got great facilities. We got great coaches, and you know we got great players. When they come here, they could get around our players. So we don't like 5-star, no star. We going after the person that we think can help us win games. So we don't shy away from anybody. We don't look at them like, oh man, that's a long shot. We look at it like if we get them on campus, we got a chance to get them. So just that mindset of no, we're not just taking just anybody. We want to take the best that's on our board, you know. So that's our philosophy and our mentality.
When looking at the personnel out on defense, sometimes the defensive ends will flip sides, and linebackers and safeties, corners. Is that based on the boundary? Is that based on the strong side? Is that something that you'll even do game to game?
It's different game to game. We'll have a formational defense where we got to line up formationally. Then we have a defense where you get lined up to the boundary. Nobody moves. We just let the offense get set, and we can adjust from there. Especially with a lot of these fast-paced teams that we'll play. So you have different philosophies of who you're playing, and you have to just have a game plan as far as the tempo that you're facing.
You worked from the box on the scrimmage the other day, and I think Marcus said first time for him down. How did it go, and what do you think about moving forward?
It was, be honest with you, could see everything from up there. I like to be on the sideline because my energy, and I think the players like my energy because I'm like that parent, right? I'm in the stands. You know how the parents in the stands and their son make a tackle or whatever? I'm the same way as a coordinator. Like, I'm happy to see them make a tackle. But at times you want to have, like, that poise and get the next call out. So when you're in the booth, you could get to the next call really quickly. But if one of the players make a tackle, I may be jumping up or whatever on the sideline. So it was different. This scrimmage, I go back up again and just get a feel for it, and we'll kind of make a decision from there.
Yeah, you mentioned Spence a couple times. What is it specifically about Brad that's allowed him to do all the things you're talking?
Yeah, he has a physical presence. He comes in and you can see him. He's a sophomore, junior in college, and he has heavy hands and does a really good job striking, has really good change of direction, has really good speed. He's learning the system. So the sky's the limit for him. He has a bright future. Awesome. Next up, y'all see them 3 guys back there, Crook, Hayne, Pooh, Thank y'all guys.